Hey, just a little update. In about 2 days I'll be 10 weeks pregnant. My morning sickness is getting better. Yay! Because it's been really rough. It was worse this time than with my two sons, but for the most part it is getting better. I am still kind of tired a lot. I do move slower. I literally get out of breath I'm like getting out of breath now just talking, but I think I'm kind of like not as exhausted and drained as I felt like I was. Starting to get bigger. I don't think I really gained, I'm sure I've gained a few pounds, but I am kind of getting bigger in certain areas and having to wear things that have a little bit more stretch and I'm in a little more room. That's fun. I am kind of anxious about gaining weight. Like, I don't want to gain weight. As a person who has struggled really bad with an eating disorder in the past, and I still do at times, that's not something you just snap your fingers like and forget about. And I mean, obviously I don't look like somebody who has an eating disorder, but that's the thing about them, is they're not always so easy to spot with people. It's something that you can struggle silently with. I'm okay, and I'm like not saying this for anybody to like worry about me. I do want my vlogs to be real and honest. Like, what is the point if you have to gloss over everything and pretend like everything's peachy and wonderful all the time? Because it's not. We're all human. And I kind of view eating disorders, you know, lots of people talk about, yay, I've been sober for this many days or this many years. You know, people should be able to talk about eating disorders in the same way, because I think they are all sicknesses that are in a way related. You know, they stem from trauma. People should be able to talk about it, and I'm okay. Like I said, I'm not like, obviously I'm not like wasting away right now or anything like that, but I'm just kind of talking about things in general. And so it is kind of, it makes me anxious to think about gaining weight, like, but I have to keep reminding myself that to have a healthy pregnancy, to have a healthy baby, you need to gain weight. Whether I was pregnant or not, my health is a priority. So you have to eat food to be healthy. And I mean, people are not gonna love somebody less if they eat food. So that's what I have to remind myself. And that taking care of myself and eating healthy is a way of loving myself. And you can't really love other people if you don't love yourself. So these are some things that I'm just having to remind myself about. I'm kind of excited, getting excited about having a baby. I think I was worrying a lot initially too, because I kind of am a worrier, and I try not to be, but I am. And I love my kids so much now that, like, I was literally like, for a couple of weeks I was like, oh my god, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna have a baby? And I already love my kids so much and worry about them so much now. Not that they give me reason to worry, I just worry about things, and I already like, oh my god, I can't like handle like loving this other human being this much, and I'm gonna be worried about them too. Like, how am I gonna handle this? And I mean, I talked to my mom about it, and I was like, she's like, you can't worry about everything. Worry feels like you're doing something, but you're not. And this is true too. And you know, there's a saying from Khalil Gibran that, you know, our children they come from you, but they're not of you. They, you know, they're part of you obviously, but they're part of something bigger. I have to realize that I'm sort of just playing a part in this child's life and in my children's lives. You know, they're obviously, if things go according to the way we generally hope that they will, is that they live, you know, way longer than I do. They have their children, and you know, the generations go on, and I'm just a really small part in that. I have to kind of step back sometimes and not go all the way out into infinity and beyond with thinking about how things are gonna play out and things are gonna happen. We have a visitor on our clothesline this morning. Okay, but please don't climb in the sheets. It's a little update too about me quitting my job. I've decided to kind of go back to the way that I used to sort of do a lot of things, which is saving money instead of just making money. Obviously it's important to make money. I mean, you need a certain amount of money to live, but really, honestly, once you meet your needs, everything else is just extra. And there's nothing wrong with extra. I mean, we all love extra money to do whatever it is that we want to do with it, but it's not necessary. You don't have to break your back at some job that you hate because you're making twice the amount of money that you need. There are situations where you have to work a job to meet your needs because you have yourself to take care of, your family. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm just talking about, you know, if you're working a job making more money than you need and you're not happy, which is, you know, where I found myself recently. And not just the normal kind of, I don't want to go to work, but just the literal, this is making me depressed to the point of I may have to call the doctor. Hating my life. You know, I can't even enjoy the people or the things that I normally would and should be able to enjoy because this is just taking so much from me. So that's where I think it's just important to evaluate, step back, look, how much money do you need to live? I mean, I was making enough money that, you know, I could save money, spend money on what I needed to spend money on. I was making some repairs at home. You know, I have what I need right now. We still have repairs that, you know, need to be done, things that can be improved on, but basically we have what we need. So I was going to talk about some things that I've done, lots of things that you can do to save money. So one of the things that I'm going to show you is just making clothes detergent. It's just a cheap way to make like a 5-gallon bucket of clothes detergent, and it's really cheap and lasts a long time. It has less chemicals in it than the clothes detergent that you buy at the store. I do believe the less chemicals you bring into your everyday existence, the better. So that's one way, you know, things that you can make at home, besides obviously, you know, cooking meals instead of eating out, or buying staple foods and cooking those things instead of buying prepared meals and stuff like that. Another thing that was a kind of a cool surprise to me is we go to the library occasionally. We used to go a lot more. We used to literally get DVDs and stuff from the library all the time because we didn't have cable. We still don't have cable because I don't want to pay for cable. We don't want to pay for cable, just too much for what it's worth. We literally have an antenna where we watch, you know, local TV, local channels. We do have Roku, and we do pay for like Netflix. It's just kind of one of those things that we enjoy, we like to have. I think no matter what, you have a basic level of needs that you have to meet, and then if you're able to afford things beyond that that are sort of luxuries, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. If you want to spend your whole paycheck on matchbooks, do what you want. This is just me sharing a little bit of my experiences. Just like, okay, we finally bought a dishwasher, which we used to have one. It's been a few years. It broke, and we've just been washing dishes ever since. Finally, we're getting another one, which I mean, really, that's not a necessity. You don't have to have it, but on the other hand, you know, if we can afford it, then once the baby comes, that's going to be really hard. Washing dishes by hand all the time, washing bottles, you know, those first few months are exhausting and tiring. And I think any way that you can save or conserve your energy is a smart thing to do. Oh, the other thing I was going to say is going to the library. We used to go a whole lot more than we've been going lately, which I've kind of started going back again. And I went recently and got some books on the receipt that they gave me. I don't know if this is a new thing they started doing. I never noticed it before. But at the bottom of the receipt, it said, you've saved like, and it was like 10,000 something dollars. Hey, so this is future me editing this footage that you're now watching. And I realized it wasn't $10,000. It was 9,000 something, almost 10,000. But still, just think what you could do with like $9,000 right now. I mean, you could buy a couple of pieces of lumber. I'll show y'all the receipt. But like, I've saved that much money from going to the library over the past, I don't know, 10 or 15 years than I would if I had bought all of those items. And I just thought that was kind of cool. Obviously, that's an estimate. You know, I do buy some books. I've been buying some books for my son. He loves like the Wimpy Kid series. But there are plenty of books and plenty of movies, educational things, informative things. There's the train. I told y'all last time that I live close to the train tracks. So there's the train. So anyway, there are lots of things you can get from the library that you don't have to pay for, and it's a great resource. So I definitely recommend going to the library to save a few bucks. Another thing I do a lot, which is buying store brand. Even when I was working and making more money, like I still did that. Just because there are a lot of store brands that they taste really good. Some of them are even better than like the name brands. They're cheaper and some of them have really fun names. So that's always interesting. But it's just another way to save money. Instead of spending 10, yeah, I'll spend 5. So I got my daughter's appointment scheduled and first ultrasound is scheduled for next Monday. And I will share that with y'all. And in other news, so right now, currently, I am 10 weeks pregnant, and my oldest son just finished high school and is a high school graduate now. And my youngest son is finishing his last few days at elementary school. So anyway, that's where I am. This is where we are. I will keep y'all posted. And I want to say thanks for the comments and thanks for y'all like watching and being a part of this with me. I love y'all and it really does mean a lot when you say hello and drop a comment, and like I literally feel like y'all are going through this with me and like y'all are kind of there with me. So I don't know, I appreciate that and it means a lot. So, and if you have detergent recipes, if you have ideas for saving money, if you have pregnancy tips, feel free to share them. Drop a comment. Let me know. Love y'all. Bye.